Pratt leaving the MCU? One of my personal favorite MCU characters is Star-Lord, and Chris Pratt really made him lovable and hilarious. Well, it turns out the franchise is in its final installment with Volume 3 of the Guardians series and is releasing on May 5th, 2023, thus marking the end of an era for director James Gunn and this band of heroes. And here's a quote from the director himself: "This is the end for us. This is the last time people will see this team of Guardians. I just want to be true to the characters, and I want to be true to the story, and I want to give the people wrap-up that they deserve for the story. So that's always a little bit scary, and I'm doing my best." Well, there you have it. All good things must come to an end. Like when you eat a really good slice of pizza, you're sad it's over, but you're glad it was delicious.
Yeah, that's actually too relatable.
Well, to chat a little bit more about this MCU exit is our pal Tom Tormey with Cosmic Comic History. Well, we're here with our friend Tom with Cosmic Comic History. Tom, thanks so much for taking the time to come hang with us. Great to have you on Good Magical Morning.
Oh, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Tom Tormey. I'm currently the comic book editor for Spoiler Magazine and Comic-Con Radio, and the moderator of a social media account called Cosmic Comic History, where we discuss comic book movies, superheroes, daily facts, and just a lot of fun stuff.
Well, I gotta say, I have some thoughts about the Guardians of the Galaxy actually ending, I guess, quote-unquote ending, or the cast leaving Guardians of the Galaxy. How do you feel about this?
Well, Chris Pratt, I think he just turned 43. I'm okay with him going. I'm okay. Guardians has been a lot of fun. I think he's played the character at least 5 times already. Mm-hmm. He's paid his dues. He's put in his time. If he wants to move on, no ill feelings towards anyone who wants to move on. That I'm sure his bank account appreciates the time that he spent in the MCU. And as a fan, I appreciate what he did for the character, because he did a masterful job. So James Gunn, of course, and the rest of the cast of bringing those characters into the public consciousness. But they belong to the fans as much as they do him. It's okay. It's okay if he moves on. Like, for example, on The Simpsons, they do this beautiful thing if an actor passes away, they retire the character. I don't necessarily feel that's the case like Chris Pratt, for example. If he were to decide to say that Guardian Volume 3 is his last outing in the MCU, I wish him well. The character is something that he brought to the forefront, but it's not his. Someone else can play the role, especially now that they've introduced the concept of the multiverse to audiences. They could just say, "Oh, this is Peter Quill from this universe," and write it off and move on.
That's right. We have to take into account the multiverse. The multiverse is a big deal now in the MCU.
I have my feelings about the multiverse as well. I think that is going to be a cop-out in a lot of ways. There's so many different story elements that lead to an infinite possibility, but I think even that is going to kind of have to be curtailed as time goes on, because otherwise that's always going to be your out.
Do you have a top 5, maybe top 3 Marvel movies? I'd like to know.
My top 1, I always say, is Captain America Winter Soldier. And I always say that because with 28 movies in, I think, 7 shows now, and that's just the MCU, I can see why people can get a little superhero fatigued. It really is like a kind of James Bond, Jason Bourne-ish superhero movie. Black Panther is usually my number 2.
I love the message, the themes, the aesthetic. Great MCU movie overall. And
then I usually put Guardians at number 3 for the similar reasons. Went in with zero expectations, walked out truly entertained. The acting, the music. James Gunn hit a home run with that. Those are usually my top 3.
If we want to hear more about what we've been talking about, how can our viewers find you?
You could find me on TikTok, Instagram, and the YouTubes at Cosmic Comic History. And I'm hoping to, through Comic-Con Radio, have a podcast off the ground by the end of the summer. I drive my 14-year-old son crazy because he always tells me, you don't have to respond to every comment, but I do. I figured if you're reaching out and you want to talk, I want to talk to you. If you do find me at Cosmic Comic History, put a comment and I'd be happy to talk to you about it.
Beautiful. Love to see it. Well, awesome, man. It's so cool to have you on the show. Thanks again for all your cosmic knowledge.
Yes.
And I hope to see you in Comic-Con this year.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on the show, guys. I appreciate it.